Well, we're back with you. Thank you for joining us on a Monday and allowing us to be a part of your day as well here on RFDTV and Rural Radio, channel 147 on Sirius XM. Well, it's that time to take another look at our markets with a little extra in-studio help from Chris Swift of Swift Trading Incorporated in Nashville, Tennessee, just down the street. All right, good to have you back in.
Thank you, Marlin. Good morning.
And an eventful Monday.
Yes.
Lots of news to talk about.
Yes,
Let's dive right into it here.
Okay, sure.
Let's take a look at our grain trade,
Okay.
and we'll take a look first at our corn.
All right.
Can't wait to get your thoughts on all this. So here we go. The corn now down 3/4. Down 3/4, Chris. We're at 401 3/4. When I came in this morning and we kicked off at 8 o'clock Central Time and 9 o'clock Eastern, we had corn about 3.5 higher in the overnight trade. Now we're down and we're at 401 3/4. December down 3/4 at 419.5. That's a full nickel and then some off of its overnight high. Okay, now on the soybean trade. Soybeans had a big move higher overnight. We were about 18 higher when I came in this morning. July beans now 15 3/4 higher, and now 15 1/4 higher at 10.13 3/4. We have November up 15 at 10.23 1/4. All right, everybody all excited about the fact that there was an announcement that the China trade deal may be resolved.
Correct.
Maybe.
Maybe.
To a degree.
Yes. Got an announcement about it at least.
So what's going on with the corn trading higher and all of a sudden we're lower? And by the way, the wheat market also turned around. We'll get to that in a second here. But is the trade not believing this, or what happened?
No, I think they're believing it. It's probably more buy the rumor, sell the fact. This has been leading up to this for quite some time. There has been talk through the news wires that there was going to be some type of agreement to come about, and they just announced that the agreement came in on Saturday morning. And it's great because it tells us that the Chinese people still are sourcing food, and now the United States is part of that source that they're coming to get their food from.
Everything I've read this morning points to the fact that sooner or later, I mean, yeah, they can source soybeans out of Brazil right now, but that's going to run out. Sooner or later, they're going to have to buy U.S. soybeans and U.S. corn.
Well, and I think they buy it around the world all the time. I mean, there are some areas they can get deals on from certain different sectors, but when you look at global trade, we're pretty much consistent with China all the time in our global trade. It ebbs and flows some, and they can sometimes get more deals from somewhere else, but right now it still looks like that the United States is the place to come to for beans.
Now, their anti-dumping duty that they had proposed on grade sorghum, that's all out the window now, right?
As far as I know, it is.
So
of course, we don't see quotes on grain sorghum, but I bet it's up a little bit this morning.
But like, in essence, a proxy would be corn.
Yes, yes.
They're kind of sister commodities, if you will, and corn not hanging in there. It's interesting. I did want to get to the wheat here before we get too deep in the weeds.
Sure.
And on the wheat, we were higher when I came in this morning. Right now in Chicago wheat, check this out. We're down 11 1/4 at 507 after posting an overnight high of 525.5. Whoa. Kansas City wheat, let's look there. July wheat there, 11.5 lower now at 527 1/4 after posting an overnight high of 546. So about 19 cents off our earlier highs this morning. Minneapolis wheat, by the way, on July is now trading 9.5 higher, or excuse me, 9.5 lower at 619.5 after being higher overnight. It got up as high as 633 3/4. The cotton market had been a different creature this morning. We are 137 points higher on July, and we have December up 197 at 84.40. All right, on the wheat, I mean, they are talking a little rain in the southern plains, but there's got to be more behind this.
Yeah, and that won't help anything. That'll just hinder any kind of harvest that may be going on. So I honestly don't know. It's very interesting to see that there's consistently more sellers than buyers in the wheat market, and everyone knows that, and that may be the problem. Everybody already knows what the damage has been done to it, so you're calculating a price for what that damage is, and unfortunately, it's not $7, $8 wheat. It's still $5.45 bushel.
Are we seeing harvest pressure already?
I don't think so. The only part that I know is Central Texas that has really started harvesting to any extent, and it'll move very quickly because, I guess Tim showed, we got dry and hot temperatures out there, so I think it'll be easily to be harvested, but I don't know that anybody's in any real big hurry to get out there.
Interesting action in the wheat. We'll keep an eye on that. All right, we'll come back here in just a moment, and we will take a look at our livestock trade. We're talking with Chris Swift. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Well, we're talking with Chris Swift of Swift Trading Incorporated in Nashville, and I wanted to take a look at this livestock trade. while the grain markets are coming off of their highs from the overnight trade, at least in some of the commodities. On the live cattle, you can't say that. Check it out. June up $1.88 at 104.28. We have August $1.90 higher at $100.12. That's noteworthy. We're back up above $100, Chris. We have October $1.58 higher at 103.28. Let's go to feeder cattle. Here we go. Roll the page. We have the May up $1.03, and now August up 206 at 139.68. September 205 higher at 139.85. So a lot of enthusiasm all of a sudden in the cattle market.
It is.
To start out the week.
It is.
Did that catch you off guard?
Not really. I'm not real sure that the Chinese issue has that much to do with the beef market, but it's kind of head down here on the bottom floor there, and we have done a lot of movement of cattle left and right, trying to keep them out of this June kill slot time frame. And I think producers have done a very good job of pushing them a little bit further down the road or killing them a little bit earlier to keep from being in this glut situation. And the demand is phenomenal. The U.S. consumer is out there consuming meat proteins at a record rate right now.
All right, we have 2 or 3 things coming up this week that are livestock related. Tomorrow, cold storage report.
Right.
Thursday, last trading day on the May feeders, right?
And cattle on feed report.
And then cattle on feed on Friday. Now, I understand that's coming out a little early, though, Friday, right?
It will. That's correct, yes.
And that's probably because of the holiday.
That's exactly right. Yeah, it'll come out during market hours.
Right, okay. Normally, they come out in the afternoon.
That's
so
correct.
that'll be a little bit unusual. The trade will be able to react a little bit anyway on Friday.
Correct.
Okay. Anything in the cash market this morning that caught your attention?
No, not that I know of. Boxes were down just a little bit towards the end of the week, but again, movement is phenomenal. And of course, Memorial Day weekend coming up, everybody's looking for it as the first big in weekend for the springtime. And looks like got good weather coming up for it, especially in the Northeast there. So maybe we'll be able to get a lot of people out and enjoying some of our good proteins.
Lean hogs is where a lot of analysts thought maybe we'd see a spark from the Chinese news. It didn't happen this morning. Right now, it's, well, look at it. My gosh, we were, what, 60 higher a half hour ago. Now we have June lean hogs down 92 at 73.78 and July down 70 at 76.55. That's over $1.50 off our earlier high already.
It is. And pork is, there's still a lot of pork out there. We know that production from the last couple of Hogs and Pigs report are going to continue to show elevated numbers of pork. And although China is a big, huge consumer of pork, probably not the biggest for here in the United States, but again, all of this reaction today is probably just some trading back and forth, and will settle down and clearly going to make for some better times in the grain markets and hopefully a little bit better times in the meat markets.
Could any of this action in the lean hogs be related to the cold storage numbers tomorrow?
It's very possible, sure. If somebody got a hint of what they're looking at, then yes, it could be.
Really?
And what we hope we don't see is big builds again in the cold storage. You'd like to see that cold storage number stay relatively stable and not see any kind of big builds.
And we already, on the far out deferred contracts, are trading at a steep discount already.
Right.
Yeah, if you go out into the winter months. So, all right. Well, thank you, Chris.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you coming in.
Yes, sir. Always a pleasure.